Hello and welcome to Tuesday Ties. I'm Mike, one of the guys here at Cutthroat. Today I'll be tying up a mayfly nymph I call the Black Betty. It's an all black fly with purple wire ribbing and purple flash for the wing case. Pretty basic. It's a pheasant tail with some synthetic materials, and it's been very effective, dropped into deeper pools and then swung through the tail outs where the fish are holding. With the murky water and the fluctuation in flows, the silhouette is quite visible to the fish, even at short distances. And then with the ambient sunlight that's available, the wire and the flashing seem to catch that and get their attention. So again, it's been very productive. I'm going to show you how to spin one up, and happy hunting out there. Okay, so here we go with the Black Betty crawler. At least that's the hope, to get it to look like a crawler. Lock my thread in, give it a trim. So after the thread, next I get the wire set in there. This is the purple in a small. Make a little adjustment, get it wound to the bend of the hook, so it sits kind of where the tail is going to go, right back there, out of the way. A lot of choices for tail fibers these days, but I'm going with the pheasant tail here. I just like the more full look here, going for a silhouette as we fish this in the more murkier, muddy water that we have right now in spring during runoff. Some of the other tail fiber options like the CDL are awesome, but yet they come out a little thin. So I like the full look of this pheasant tail, at least for this pattern, because I'm kind of pushing the idea of a silhouette in the water. That's why the black color and the more bushy full look. So next would be the Antron. This is in dark stone. The dubbing for the body. And again, I leave it a little loosely wrapped on the thread, so it's kind of fuzzy. Sort of a hare's ear look. Cross between a super full hare's ear and the lower profile pheasant tail or other synthetic materials that have that real smooth look to them. So for this fly, I'm just going for a more full look. Let's go ahead and finish this off before I do the wire. There we go. And if you don't get the smooth taper that you want by the tail, sometimes you can add a little pressure to this wire and rein it in a bit. There we go. So we're just going to lock off this wire, and sometimes I'll helicopter that off, but the smalls and the mediums can be tough. So I found these nail clippers at the grocery store. These are just Revlon nail clippers that make nice wire cutters. Give you a nice clean cut. Sometimes twisting that wire will mess with the other materials. So next I tie in my tinsel. And I want to get that up on top of the abdomen. And then next I tie in my legs. And I'm pulling a little bit towards me, and as I put tension on those legs, they roll up to the top. And this is the fluorofiber in black. All the materials are black except for the wire and the tinsel. So for the thorax, I'm using a very small amount of the superfine dubbing. Dry fly dubbing, micro dubbing, superfine, anything along those lines will work just right. And I'm going to build up the thorax as close to these materials. I want to leave some space right behind the bead, so when I tie in all this material I have room and it doesn't get too crowded behind the bead. So lock the legs in, and then at this point I'm going to split the legs apart, kind of in half. There's 20 or so, a couple of dozen of these fibers in this wad that I got here. So angle them down just a tad so you get that leggy look. And then this side, 2 wraps over here. Make sure they splay out and kind of face down so you get that leg action. Sometimes if they face up, they might look like wings. I don't think the fish care one way or the other, but lock in our tinsel and trim it. So for whip finishing, especially flies that sometimes get a lot of material or thread around the eye or the bead, I've gone with this small midge style whip finisher. It allows me some more accurate wraps. It doesn't tend to flop off the front as much. And then we trim the legs. And I like to go back just off the abdomen, just behind the wing case, and then maybe a little extra, depending on your taste and flavor. And that gives us a nice silhouette. So these kind of bumped up a little bit when I pulled on them, but just push them down. It gets them in the leg position. And there we have it, the Black Betty crawler. This fly is very effective fished in the deeper pools and kind of off-color water with good sunlight or partly sunny skies. If the water turns a bit murky because of an elevated runoff or next to a creek, whatever, fish it deep in pools and then let it swing through the tail outs. And at least this time of year, in the spring here, the fish have been holding in the tail outs, and this fly has been very effective there. So had a lot of success on the Colorado, the Blue River, and the Arkansas fishing this fly with those techniques. So spin a few up, check in with the shop. We have all the materials, and catch them up. We'll see you on the river. Thanks for watching Tuesday Ties.